I did the high school thing for a minute. I even dropped out for a little bit and got back into high school
Oh,
and
talk
then
about that.
finished my year. No, when I dropped out, it was more or less like I was being a rebel.
Mm,
It was my man. All right, so one of my friends, or whatever, at the time was making money
okay.
doing this DS Max thing, and DS Max was just it was one of those jobs where you had to work to get paid. So like you had to sell certain stuff, and then you'll get paid from your services or whatever. So there was no paycheck. You didn't get no steady paycheck like that. You had to work for your paycheck. But he was doing it, like he was getting money, and he ended up moving to Pittsburgh. So I was
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm gonna follow him. You know what I'm saying? He making money. He telling me all these stories. He driving, certain cars and everything. I'm like, yo. All right, so the type of car he was driving, he had two cars. So he had a drop top, and he had a drop top Mercedes, I think, and then he had like a PT Cruiser. I think that was big back then. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying, at the time. So boom, I go to Pittsburgh. I spent only like a half a year, and I'm doing well, but I ain't really doing what he doing. But it was just more or less just being in the atmosphere of him having his home house. He had a girl at the time that was there. But then I started to see things wasn't really panning the way it's supposed to. And, like I'm young, you know what I'm saying? He was young too, but like I said, he had more of a step up because he was in it for so long. And I saw no vision in it. It was just like, yeah, this is not, payphones. People like, the payphones was just starting to just fade
Mm-hmm.
away,
Yes.
and the AMX, AMX was not really big, so that was fading away, and that's what we were selling. You know, what I'm saying, phones and AMX cards and certain things like that. So it was just like, what we doing? And I ain't no salesman like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I got the gift of gab, and I can sell you a piece of rice or whatever. But it was just like it was getting to the point where, well, I had people up under me, and I'm like their like leader, and it was just like, how can I tell them like, yo, I gotta feed my kids, yo, we just gotta work hard and get this, but ain't nothing happening,
Right, right.
no. So it's just like, yo, I can't do this no more. So I
And
used
you
to
went
come
back to
back
school.
home. I went back to school. I finished it, and the rest
I
was
mean, how did your
history.
mom feel about that?
She's like, you want to be a dummy? Go ahead and be a dummy. Go out there and you see what you
Learn
think
from your
what's
own
going to happen.
parents.
She's like, I can't tell you nothing. You want to be a man, be a man. You
Mm-hmm.
want to
Mm-hmm.
finish school, fine. You know what I'm saying? She was against it for sure.
Of course.
But we got into a big argument. And I just left. Yeah, I was just like, oh, I'm going. So I
Wow.
went out
So
there,
you
did
had to you had,
that.
you had
That
to
that
learn
went
from.
to. Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
had to learn from my own experiences, and
Mm-hmm.
said I couldn't do it, yo. And he ended up quitting after that because he saw
Wow.
no promise in that.
Right, because it's not steady, right? So
It wasn't steady money,
education,
son.
yeah, at
Yeah,
least get the
right.
diploma though. You know, if college, even if you don't go to college or anything, just get that diploma. Just at least do that.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
for
so I'm
sure.
glad you did. I'm glad you did. So, what did you do right after high school? What did you enjoy doing?
First thing I did after high school, I got into plays. Believe it or not, I
Oh, you
was
got okay. That's where it
doing that
started.
in
Okay,
college.
so now we can now
So
we
that's
yeah.
that's when the Christian
Okay.
plays started. I was in that circuit for a minute. Kept me out the streets, man. That's something that I would have to say. Shout out to Deneen K. Ward, which is a young lady that found something in me, and she told me to tap into it, and I did. And when I hit that stage, I hit it at a young age, and I was just seeing all of what they were doing, and I wanted more lines. So I was just like, well, how can I get into more lines? And you know, every play that she either created or another person did, they would tell me, and I started getting more bigger roles and
Yeah.
everything. And
So, what
then,
led up to the plays though? Go back just a little bit, Hakeem, because I want to know
hmm
like what it had to be. It had to start somewhere. What led up to you having any interest in acting or any plays at all right after high school? Like what led up to that interest? 'Cause I think it started sooner, right? I think you said junior high. It started. I think you
yeah,
said.
junior high, I was doing plays, and I
Right.
was doing high school plays, but like, yeah, after I got out of high school, the plays started, and the bug caught me when I did my first play. It was called not Consider the Lilies, The Black of the Berry.
Okay.
And that standing ovation I got, and they booed me actually because my character, he got the girl pregnant, and was like, "Yo, that ain't my baby." You know what I'm saying? And
Oh,
I was
okay.
a yeah, I was one of those villains or whatever. But
Right.
they booed me because I did such a good job. So it was just like, yeah, I like that. So I was like, all
Yes,
right, bet, this is
yes.
what I want. And it just went on from there. And then 2008 is when I did my first movie.
The
When
movie,
I
first movie. And what was it again? What was the name of it again?
with the play.
The movie.
Oh, the movie I did. My first movie I did was Swing Low, Sweet Chariot. Still on Tubi right now. If y'all ever want to tap in, you'll see like oh wow, it's a good movie too. I ain't gonna hold you. It's a good movie. Um, but yeah, that was my big breakthrough, and that came out in 2013. Hit Tubi in 2016,
Okay.
and you want to talk about that feeling that I had when I was playing Michael Jackson as a young kid? It
Oh,
happened again.
that came rushing back.
It came right there because we
Oh,
had a premiere. We
wow.
had a big premiere in Cleveland, and it was so funny. When we pulled up, didn't nobody know what they were seeing. They didn't know who I was, so everybody was getting popcorn, getting ready for the movie. I think they sold out like 13 what you call it, theaters. Yeah, they had
Oh, really?
13 theaters
Oh,
that sold
that's
out.
big.
Yeah, it was really big. The whole city actually came out and watched that because it was the biggest thing that came out of Cleveland. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it was like everybody was supporting it. And boy, oh boy, when they got out of that movie theater, it was anything that everybody ever experienced about being a celebrity. I felt that in that one day. And then for the
That's
rest of
wonderful.
that year, everywhere I
Yes.
went, oh my God, that's him. That's him from the movie Swing Low. Yo, can I get a picture? Yo,
Oh,
all of that. Everything was just crazy. People looked at me
I love it.
differently. Oh man, it was a great feeling. And I was like, I want that. You couldn't tell me. I didn't even care about the money. I was like, yo, I don't care about money. I want that. But no,
And
it
that's
came
it.
from that.
That's it right there. When you know that you love something enough that you can do
Yeah,
it for free,
I
that
would
right
do it
there.
for free. I would do
And
this for
yeah,
free.
and it was
Yeah.
already in you already. I mean, I know, like I always say, like when it comes to creatives, it's already you was born with it. That's not something you acquire about.
Thank you.
You just you discover it later on, but it's just
Facts.
something you're just born with. It's innate. So yeah. So now in between that, so the time when you started doing theater, you started doing movies. Like, what jobs? I know you have to pay bills in between. So like, what type of jobs did you have to pay the bills and get medical coverage and dental and all that stuff?
Ooh, good question. I've been at this job for 21 years.
Really? Oh,
I started Costco
oh, okay.
around that time too. So I
Oh,
was
my
at
uncle worked
Costco.
at Costco. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Great
Yeah,
benefits, dental, all of that.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
still there? Cause and you know
I'm
what?
still
And
there.
that's not surprising because there's so many people that have been in Costco for as many years as you have because they're one of the top employers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're one of the top. Because my uncle's been there, I think around the amount the same amount of time. No, I don't.
Hmm.
But it was close to that amount of time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
really
For
do take
sure.
care of their employees. So you've been holding on that job, and there's also the flexibility as well. So that's another good thing.
Yeah, well, by the grace of God, that I get the flexibility because sometimes they don't be liking the fact that I be missing for like 4 or 5 days doing movies
Oh,
here,
oh
movies
yeah,
there.
yeah.
But they understand and
Very supportive.
they support me. They really do. I can't even complain. They really they give me flack for it, but they do it out of love. But they're like, yo, we want you to succeed, so keep doing your thing. Because they really want me to quit so I could just flourish and do my
And right,
thing. And
right, but you're not there
hopefully
yet.
I hit that. Hopefully I don't have to do Costco for too much longer. So yeah.
Yeah, but that's good. But I think seniority makes difference as well, where you're able to, have more flexibility because you have the seniority. I would think. I mean,
Hmm.
I would assume.
Yeah, I mean, like they look at the years that I've been there and they say, okay, well, we got to give him a little bit of leniency because he has been here for a while. So yeah, that does play a part for sure.
Yeah, so let me dive a little bit more into that, Hakeem, because I want to know, like, I always like to ask, like, how do you balance it between your regular job, filming, and the work life balance? How do you do self care? What do you do for fun? And I want to get more into that. How do you manage all of that?
Yeah. So like I said, doing my job. Oh, so Detroit is not too far from me. So of course, driving back and forth because that's what I do. I just drive out there, do
Mm,
the movie, then I come back home. There's been plenty of nights with no sleep. Plenty of nights where I would drive. I would film, and then that same day, if I get released early, I drive back home, and when I'm driving back into Cleveland, I'm going straight to work. But it's all about, the hard times to get to the good times. So I didn't mind doing that because, like I said, I was in a movie, I got paid for it. You know, that's one down the drain. Let's do the next one, stuff like that. So, yeah, I was all about the hustle and bustle. Still am, still doing it.
Of
So it's
course,
just
of
more or less
course.
that's what it is.
And so
One,
you say you mentioned something you said I think how do you unwind?
how do I unwind? With a
That's
glass
very
of
important.
cognac. No, I'm just playing. I don't even drink. No, with me, how do I unwind? A good time for me is, of course, getting a game or two of basketball, working out, studying my craft by watching movies and certain stuff that I've probably seen over
What are
and
some of
over
the movies
again.
like? What do you like to watch? Like, what are some of your favorite
So yeah,
movies?
what I like to watch is I like to watch. So I have my stages where I have if a movie that has hit Tubi or people have been talking about it, I probably look at that just to see the acting in it, see what people was talking about it, and give my little
Okay.
one two input in it. So I watch stuff like that. I watch other actors that maybe okay, how did they get this role? How okay, so how did they get into this role? Okay, and it just sharpens me. You know what I'm saying? When I'm watching other actors do what I do, and then I'm just like, okay, all right. So I think I need to step up my game. Okay. So yeah, I do that, and then sometimes I watch some of my old ones. But a good time for me is I'm always watching Snowfall,
Mm.
one of my favorite series, and I'm always watching Power. How Amari Hardwick embodied that character, and those are my two go tos when I'm actually just wanting to unwind, just to look at some good acting and some good dialogue, and I start watching those or whatnot. But yeah, that's what I
How do
normally
you
do.
yeah, and how do you critique yourself when you watch yourself? Like, what are some of the things that you
Mm.
say? When you see yourself on screen, how do you critique yourself?
I have yet to find a movie that I say all the way through. Yo, I,
Really?
I killed that. I have yet to find one. But I know it's coming though, because I critique myself on all the movies, like even Risk It All. There was some things I could have did better. Not a bad movie at all. It's just that I thought I could have did better in certain things, and I know where I was like, damn, I could have did that better. But no, I critique myself a lot. I go back to some of the olds to say, okay, I ain't gonna do that again. And then of course, like certain movements, your face expressions, you want
Mm-hmm.
to switch it up. You don't want to ever just be the same character. Like I try not to. I may give you a fake tattoo on the eye, on the neck. I just want to really be different from my last character, so you understand that this dude is for real.
Right.
And I am. That's what I normally do. So I definitely watch to see where I put that left earring. Did I do something different?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I always try to be better than I was the last one. So yeah.